Welcome to the Trading Show, guys, where we take high volatility stocks and make money trading them. Today is day 3 of our challenge, and we are green over $1,700, putting us that much closer to our $100,000 goal. Now, if you're new to the channel, we are doing a small account challenge where we try to grow our $10,000 to $100,000 as fast as possible. If you've been following our channel, we blew up our account last week where we made over $30,000 in 1 month of trading, only to lose it on one bad trade due to technical errors, bad entries and exits, and bad fills. So with $10,000, we are doing a challenge to make back what we lost and bring our account back to $100,000 as fast as possible. Now today we traded 2 stocks. We went red on our first trade, trading JWEL. It was unfortunate to see it fade after we got out, but we got in early and exited before the parabolic squeeze. We were aggressive and we were wrong, and things didn't go our way, so we had to get out. Our next trade was LRHC. Now this stock made us over $2,500, making up for the loss that we took on JWEL and putting us green over $1,700 on the day. So with that said, today is going to be a quick recap. We only took 2 stocks today, locking $1,700, and let's get into our trades. Alright guys, so let's break down the first stock, and that's JWEL. Now this morning at 4 a.m, it moved up from about $1.72 to $5.30 on no volume and no news, and it rejected, came all the way back down to $2.50. So this stock was already moving up and down in the pre-market with no news and being very volatile. So at 7 a.m, usually I start trading around 7 a.m. I came to my desk and I saw this stock. It just made a massive squeeze from about $3.50 all the way up to $6.25. And you can see here that it made a clear double top with a consolidation around this 530s to 540 range. And that is where I got out because I saw the initial squeeze to $6.25. It rejected, faded, and made a dip to about $4.50. So I waited for the pop, and I wanted to risk about $5.30. And let me show you what I did. I saw this area right here. There was 2 candles rejecting the top at $5.40. And I got in on this candle. I got really aggressive. I started my first ad on $4.80. I added more aggressively at $4.90. And what I was thinking was, if you look at this candlestick, it looks weak. And if this breaks down, because after it makes a huge rejection, I thought it was going to make a little push to about $5, tap it, reject, and fade. So my ultimate risk was always going to be $5.40. Right? I did not want to get myself into another position where I'm getting squeezed $2 and $3 because my small account can't handle that right now. So what I did was I scaled in 480s, 490s. My average is in the 480s right now. I held my risk to $5.40. And when I did that, I waited. The next candle did the exact same thing. Made a push. It opened the 490s again. So at this point, I'm break even. Makes another push to a high of about $5.30. And I'm getting very skeptic right now because it's holding $5. And usually with this type of setup right here, this little pocket here, I expected this $4.70 to break down already. And because it didn't, I really got nervous. And it was a good thing I did, because if I held it, I could have gotten squeezed. Now, when this candle ripped all the way up and broke through this 540, it happened so fast, and if you look at the volume, it happened on high volume. Now, it's not as high as this initial push on this candle right here. This candle happened on the biggest volume, biggest green candle on the day. This happened on the second biggest green candle, but it made a double top and it rejected and it came right back down. But at that point, there was no telling where it's going to go. And if I'm risking $5.40, I have to honor that. Last time I shorted a stock in the $3 and $4 range, it squeezed to $5, $6, and my broker froze on me. Today, it actually did freeze, but I was already out of the position, and thank goodness I did not have to experience that again. Otherwise, this could have been another red video. But we got out, and on this push, I got out half my position at $5.25, and I waited. And I could see it was going really fast, so I started scaling out immediately. Half at $5.25, half in the $5.30s, and I exited my position completely, and I was just tapping hotkeys. This time, I actually have 2 hotkeys where I'll cover half my position and cover my full position if things don't go my way. And I got out before this massive squeeze. Now, it's kind of unfortunate because you can see after it makes this double top in this area right here, it comes all the way back down. And it kind of consolidates in this entire range here in the $5 range before finally rolling over right before the market started. And it hits a low of $3.60. Now, this stock was really expensive to borrow. I paid about 3 cents, but I know that for the most part of the pre-market, it was trending between 9 and 11 cents to borrow. So after it made this huge rejection, I did not want to trade this anymore. I missed out. If I had my average in the 480s, I would have been fine. But because my timing was wrong and I got squeezed, almost got squeezed, I did not want to trade it anymore and I got out. So this stock, I lost $850, which is a huge shame because in the real-time market hours, it makes a huge fade all the way into $3 and $3.30. But these candlesticks tricked me. You can see this candle right here. Another huge push, leaving a massive wick at the top, pushing above it, fading, and finally hitting a low of 320. And I think it closed about $4 today. So that was my first trade where I lost $850. Now, my second trade was my better trade, LRHC. I typically have a really hard rule where I don't like trading sub $1 stocks, but I recognize these type of setups, and usually when a stock is moving up on absolutely no news, typically it will fade because there's not enough momentum and a catalyst to sustain the move. So LRHC has a history of dilution. It's kind of like ADTX, where it's constantly being diluted for shareholders. And that's exactly what happened today as well. It hit a high of $1.30, and I noticed that these stocks, they typically hit about 130, 140, and then they flush right back down. But on this specific stock, if it doesn't fade below $1 and it has to flush clean and break $1 by a substantial amount, because if it doesn't do that, it's not going to fade. It's going to hold the dollar for the rest of the day. So I got in the 115 range right here. So I got in on this rejection right here, and I added to my position in the 105 at the bottom right here after it broke this low. And I had about 6,000 shares. I got the fade to about 80 cents, and this is roughly where it started right here. You can see that it started about 80 cents on the day before, and I know that based on my stats, it will fade approximately into about 58 to 62 cents. And it's faded to a low of 60 cents, and I didn't get out. I actually got out half my position around 64 cents. I got out the other half in this area over here, where I actually held it a little bit too long, and I got out around 68 to 69 cents. So on this stock, I actually bottom ticked it, or almost bottom ticked it, around 64 cents. And my average exit was 66 cents. So the reason why I actually trade this one in the first place was because this type of stock has a history of dilution similar to ADTX, which is what I said earlier. But if you look at ADTX right now, let me see if I can pull it up quickly. It's not even listed anymore. So there are a few companies that are constantly being diluted and constantly being subjected to a reverse split because they cannot maintain NASDAQ requirements. Now, I looked at this stock, LRHC, and if you look at the daily, it's kind of exactly it. Every single time this stock goes up, it closes red. Now, I want you to look at this chart and look at all of these massive red candles. So this stock is constantly being diluted, constantly subjected to a secondary offering. It's below the $1 minimum price again, and it's going to be subjected to another NASDAQ compliance. So that's the only reason why I traded this. It happened so fast, and I managed to get out near the bottom. These were my two trades. I typically don't trade sub $1 stocks, but I decided to bend the rules today, and there was a good reason for it, and I'm very glad I did, because that helped us lock in $1,700 on the day, putting us that much closer to our goal. So with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed the recap. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.